When you do a house for a normal client, you have, just say, 1,000 things to talk about.
Sure.
I think we talked about 10,000 things. This project was special just because, again, like the attention to detail, the effort that was put into it shows. Carlos Alvarez, and I think I mostly do architecture. I do a little bit of interior design, and if I have the time, I actually can do a painting or two.
You've designed hundreds of homes. You've been in the game a while. You've seen the full gambit. How does this project differ from some of your previous projects?
The biggest and most important thing of this project was the client being an architect. Sets up a totally different set of rules in terms of how ambitious the project is.
Can you tell us a little bit about the barn layout and how that works, starting from barn 1, moving to barn 4, and how you guys conceptualize that?
So this is a farmhouse. The client is an architect. They like modern architecture, and they like the idea that they were building a series of barns moving through the property. So that was the abstract kind of like concept. But the bottom line, honestly, is that you have the access to the property, you have the movement of the sun, and you have the size of the property. And the barn 1 is at the highest point in the property. So the road arrives at barn 1, and then they basically start cascading down into the lower level.
What was the thinking behind selecting these materials like Shou Sugi Ban, the cap and fairy windows and things like that?
So once you introduce the idea that these structures are barns, even though they're unusual looking barns, there's some things that you have to recognize, and then you go, what are barns made out of? This and that. And a lot of barns are made out of wood. And then also you can't not like some things, right? So you're like out there and you're like, oh man, that's a really cool material there. And the properties of it are great. Like a lot of material, like barn materials, they have to be painted and repainted and refinished. Well, this material does not. You treat it once, and it protects
That's
itself.
The Shou Sugi Ban.
The Shou Sugi Ban, it's like self-protected material. So it seemed like a very conducive material for the project. It was a really hard exercise because we talked probably to 10 to 15 window manufacturers, and nobody could do that size window with that thin of a profile. Some of the other manufacturers that we talked to, the frames of the windows would be so big that it would look like super heavy. It was a tough decision, but it was like because this group made a window that was like a quarter of the size thinner than everybody else.
What is it about Douglas fir that is so special?
This is a material that the client really liked, and we spent equal amount of time trying to source this as we did the window. Actually, we pursued like 3 or 4 different ways of doing this. Found this company in Denmark. Look at this. This is like the most beautiful thing there is. Nothing was good enough for it. So this is one of those like opportunity of your lifetime.
Thank you.